Have you ever noticed, the deeper you think, the lonelier you feel? It's not your imagination. The more you understand, the more others pull away. Society has always been wary of deep thinkers, not because they're wrong, but because they see what others refuse to see. History shows this again and again, from Socrates to Galileo, from Tesla to countless others. Brilliant minds weren't ignored because they lacked intelligence. They were ignored because they made people uncomfortable. Arthur Schopenhauer, one of the most brutally honest philosophers, believed that intelligence itself is a curse, a burden that isolates those who see too clearly. But why? Why does society resist deep thinkers so instinctively? The answer lies deep in human psychology. Think about it, when you're around someone physically stronger, you might admire them. When you meet someone wealthier, you might envy them, but you don't feel personally attacked. But intellectual superiority? That's different. Psychologists call it the mirror effect. A deep thinker doesn't just introduce new ideas, they hold up a mirror, revealing others' limitations. And people don't forgive that easily. Even without saying a word, the presence of a deep thinker can make others feel exposed, insecure, inadequate. Because intelligence touches something far more personal than wealth or strength, it touches identity. Physical power is external. Material wealth is external. But intelligence? Intelligence is tied to who we are. Our beliefs. Our understanding of the world. Challenge that, and you challenge someone's very existence. That's why, while we admire the strong and the rich, we often resist the intelligent. Not because they're arrogant. Not because they look down on others. But because they force us to confront the limits of our own minds. Throughout history, deep thinkers have been pushed to the margins. Not because they wanted to be alone, but because society couldn't handle what they revealed. Think back on your own life. Have you ever shared a deep or complex idea, only to be met with blank stares? Have you seen conversations die the moment you moved past surface-level chatter? It's not an accident. It's a defense mechanism. When faced with uncomfortable truths, most people don't lean in, they retreat. That's why, in social settings, confidence is often valued more than intelligence. Certainty is attractive, even when it's hollow. People flock to charismatic speakers, even if what they say is shallow, and shy away from thinkers who speak with nuance and complexity. History is full of examples: populist leaders, motivational speakers, viral influencers. Those who thrive by telling people what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. Meanwhile, those who push for deeper understanding often find themselves isolated, unheard. This is the paradox of intelligence. The pursuit of truth often leads to alienation. Modern neuroscience backs this up. When people feel intellectually inferior, their brain's amygdala, the fear center, lights up. Deep thinking doesn't just intimidate, it triggers a primal survival response. Why? Because for most of human history, survival depended not on being smart, but on belonging. In tribal societies, social acceptance was life or death. Isolation meant vulnerability. Thus, our brains are wired to prioritize social harmony over intellectual growth. Someone who disrupts group consensus, even just by thinking differently, is instinctively seen as a threat. This is why highly intelligent people often feel out of place, even if they have excellent social skills. Their very presence shifts the dynamic, challenges the norm. A 2021 study from Stanford revealed something fascinating. In one-on-one settings, people feel less threatened by deep thinkers. But in groups, the threat level spikes dramatically. Because suddenly, it's not just about ideas, it's about social status. When someone feels outshined intellectually in front of others, they instinctively protect their ego. By undermining, dismissing, or even excluding the deep thinker. Psychologists have mapped this even further. Dunning-Kruger effect: the less people know, the more they think they know, while true experts doubt themselves. Status quo bias: people prefer familiar ideas over unsettling truths. Backfire effect: when confronted with evidence against their beliefs, people don't change their minds, they double down. All of this creates a world where deep thinkers are systematically resisted. And today's digital age only makes it worse. Social media prioritizes engagement, not depth. Quick, emotional, controversial content spreads. Deep, thoughtful discussions get buried. Algorithms reward outrage, not wisdom. Catchy slogans outperform careful reasoning. And echo chambers form, reinforcing what people already believe. It's not just online. Even our institutions discourage deep thinking. Schools reward memorization over questioning. Corporations promote conformity over innovation. Politics favors comforting lies over uncomfortable truths. The greatest intellectuals in history, they weren't celebrated in their lifetimes. They were rejected, ridiculed, even persecuted. Galileo, Socrates, Nietzsche, Tesla, Turing, Hypatia. Each challenged the prevailing norms. Each paid a heavy price. Only later, once their ideas were safe, were they celebrated. Society doesn't fear intelligence. It fears what intelligence reveals. If you've ever felt alone in your thoughts, remember. You're not broken. You're simply seeing more than most people can handle. So, what should deep thinkers do? Give up? Conform? Hide? No. Instead, save your deepest thoughts for those who can appreciate them. Find your tribe, even if it's small. Communicate simply when you can, without diluting the truth. As Schopenhauer said, talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see. Deep thinkers see what others miss. That will always make some people uncomfortable. But that discomfort is the catalyst for change. If this message resonated with you, share your story. Have you ever been rejected for thinking too deeply? Let's talk in the comments. And if you're ready to keep exploring the minds that shaped history, hit that subscribe button. We're only just beginning.